Morning. A highway swallowed by fog. The light is static, unchanging. A bus moves along an empty road, and inside, there is you. Calm. Too calm. You aren't observing, you are confirming. A low temporal hum vibrates in the air. You whisper, "He turns in 12 seconds." The driver turns the wheel exactly at the 12th second. No hesitation. No surprise on your part. The bus stops. People move normally, but the audio is slightly delayed, as if reality is buffering. The clock on the wall freezes at 9:17 for 3 seconds. Only you notice. You stare at it and say quietly, "Not yet." The clock resumes. No one reacts. A small cafe. Warm light. An ordinary world. The waitress approaches. Before she can speak, you say, "You'll be late today, by 7 minutes." She freezes. "Excuse me?" she asks. "Bus delay. You'll blame it," you reply. Silence. She steps back. An old building. A rental room. The landlord is nervous. You scan the walls as if reading code. "The basement floods in 4 days," you say. The landlord scoffs, "It never has." You look at him. "It hasn't happened yet." He laughs nervously. In the silence, the sound of dripping water echoes. Water that does not yet exist. The lights begin to flicker. Not randomly, but rhythmically. Reality repeats a single second twice. You blink. You remember both versions. For the first time, uncertainty creeps in. You whisper, "So it started." Night. The silence is too thick. The texture of the walls begins to breathe. Beneath the very structure of the building, something is moving. You touch the wall and it reacts, physically shifting its geometry. A distorted, layered voice emerges from the brick. "You arrived early." You answer, "No, you're late." A pause. The voice speaks. "This cycle is not yours." Your reply is short. "It is now." The forest on the edge of Hawkins. Dusk deepens into an impenetrable thicket. A group of teenagers, Mike, Dustin, and Lucas, push through the brush, their flashlights cutting through the dark. Suddenly, the beams freeze on you. You stand in the middle of the path, motionless. You don't introduce yourself. You already know them. Mike steps forward, his voice trembling. "Who are you? What are you doing here?" You answer calmly, "I am someone you've already met. But in this version of the day, you haven't had the chance to ask my name yet." "That makes no sense," Lucas shouts, gripping his wrist rocket. "It will," you counter, "when the radio stops catching signals from this world." Dustin stops dead, his face pale. "Guys, I swear I've seen this tree. And this guy. And the way he's looking at his watch right now." You turn to him. "You saw a version where you didn't survive this walk. 10 yards to the left, the Demogorgon didn't miss." The group freezes. The silence becomes physical. The temperature drops so sharply that your breath turns to mist. The radio on Mike's belt explodes with white noise and inhuman screams. The trees begin to move in jerks, like frames of a glitching film. A shadow entity emerges. It is massive, but seeing you, it stops. It bows its head like a predator encountering a bug in the system. Mike screams, "You brought this here." You look him in the eye. "No, Mike. I am the bandage on a wound you haven't even inflicted yet." The entity whispers directly into your mind. Wrong iteration. Extra element. Reality stutters. You see Mike double for a split second. You whisper to them, "We've already died here hundreds of times. Let's just make sure that in this version, we at least reach the end of the path." In your hands is a heavy folder. Project Echo. Inside is a chaos of documents. Temporal recursion tests and brain activity graphs dated years before you were even born. Your name is there, typed in clean, cold font. Subject, Temporal Echo. You start an old projector. On the screen is grainy footage of you as a child, but speaking with the voice of an old man. You describe architecture with impossible geometry, floors that intertwine like snakes. As the scientists watch in horror, the walls of the room on the film begin to bend, taking the shapes you just described. A voiceover from an interview plays. "He isn't predicting the future," an investigator whispers. "He is compiling reality from fragments of memory." A second voice interrupts. "But if he remembers what hasn't happened, then the future is already the past for him. We are playing with something we cannot control." Suddenly, the monitors in the lab flicker. The text on every screen is replaced by a single line. Stop observing him. There is no one else in the room. You realize this isn't a hack. It is the universe itself trying to close its eyes so it doesn't have to see you. The revelation is freezing. You are not the test subject. You are the process. You are the operating system this world is running on. The archives show the same experiment repeated 11 times. Every version ends differently, but you are always there. The film begins to burn on the screen, turning into digital noise. The last thing you read is, the subject is not a human, the subject is the iteration itself. The basement safe house smells of damp earth and fear. The lamps pulse in time with your heart. Mike breaks the silence. You're like a black hole. Everything breaks around you. Are you even human? You look at your hands. They seem transparent in the flickering light. A human is a collection of memories, Mike. Mine just don't fit into this slice of time. To me, normalcy is just a stable loop that hasn't snapped yet. A glass of water on the table vibrates. You touch it, and the water freezes. In the reflection, you see a charred wasteland. In that wasteland, Mike, Dustin, and Lucas lie still, their eyes clouded white. Dustin gasps, "Tell me that's not real." You look away. It is real. One version of it. But right now, we are in the version where you are still breathing. Let's value that. You step outside. The town looks like a stage set that wasn't bolted down. The streetlights flash in binary code. A pedestrian on the far side of the road reaches the corner, turns around, and repeats the path. Over and over. A woman with a stroller passes you 3 times, saying the exact same phrase. Lovely evening, isn't it? Reality has started to stutter. The shadow entity appears in the road, blocking your path. It ignores the children. Its focus is entirely on you. You stayed. It hisses. You take a step forward. I didn't have a choice. I'm stuck in the textures of your world. The entity shudders. You weren't supposed to survive the 10th cycle. You are an extra byte. A wave of static knocks the boys off their feet. Dustin tries to call your name, but forgets it mid-scream. You realize that time loses its consistency within 10 yards of you. You open your notebook, and on a blank page, words appear by themselves. He is being recorded by reality itself. He is the master archive. A roadblock on the edge of town. Armored trucks, scientists in hazmat suits, and soldiers with rifles. A commander barks through a megaphone. Subject Echo, stand down. Any movement will be met with force. You hear his voice in your head 3 seconds before he hits the button. You know every move they will make. Soldiers rush you. But as soon as their hands touch your coat, the handcuffs dissolve into dust. They don't break. They simply cease to exist in current time. You're trying to stop the ocean with a paper fence, you say. You're using physics that is already obsolete. A soldier raises his rifle, but the weapon duplicates in his hands. He holds 2 overlapping rifles for a second before both crumble into shapeless metal. Reality is aggressively rejecting any attempt to restrain you. Within the group, a revolt brews. Mike tries to shield you. He's helping us. Lucas yells back, what if this madness is happening because of him? Maybe if he's gone, the world goes back to normal. You stop. You see 2 outcomes. In one, you save them, but the world collapses. In the other, you let them take you. The anomaly fades, but the boys are erased from history. You refuse to choose. Instead, you choose chaos. The library building behind you disappears for a heartbeat, revealing a void, then returns made of black obsidian. Reality is patching the holes you leave behind. You whisper to yourself, I've tried being the hero. I've tried being the victim. Nothing worked. Dead of night. You break into the secret lab archives. On a monitor, a file opens. Subject, Iteration 10. You see yourself on the screen. But this you is different. Short hair, a scar across the cheek, and eyes with no sympathy. He looks like a perfect soldier of time. Cold. Calculated. Dead inside. You play the log. Your double speaks into the camera. If you're watching this, I failed. And you will too. We made a mistake trying to glue this world back together. It can't be fixed. Do not stabilize the loop. The world requires collapse. Let it fall. In that moment, your head explodes with memories you never lived. You see endless rows of containment cells, flashes of white light during failed resets, and the faces of people you loved in other lives whom you yourself erased. Dustin walks up behind you. So, there were more of us? Different versions? You shake your head. Not more, Dustin. Just a long line, and I'm the last one in it. You realize the horrible truth. Every iteration of you makes the world stable for a short time, but it also strengthens the anomaly, turning it into an unbreakable cage. The shadow entity's voice rings through the monitor speakers. You are the correction mechanism. You are the antivirus that became the virus. You are the reason this world cannot simply die. On the screen, a new file appears in red. Subject, current iteration, status, critical error, world lock. Time stops for everyone. A bird is frozen in midair. A water droplet from a tap becomes a crystal sculpture. Time has stopped for every living thing except you, the entity, and the system itself. You walk through an absolutely silent town. The sound of your own breath is too loud. You reach the center of Hawkins. The entity is waiting. It no longer looks terrifying, just tired. End this recursion, it says. We are both hostages of this program. You ask, how? I've tried everything. The entity points at you. Remove the anchor. As long as there is an observer, there is the observed. You are the witness that keeps this world from vanishing. You understand. You are the anchor the reality clings to. For the world to be free, you must not exist in any iteration. You take a shard of reality, a jagged edge of frozen time, and try to sever your connection to the timeline. But the universe won't let you go. Your wounds heal before the blood even appears. The system resists your disappearance. Every time you try to erase yourself, reality triggers a rollback. You fall from a roof, but a second before impact, time rewinds 5 seconds, and you are standing on the edge again. You are trapped in a golden cage of immortality. You cannot die because your death is game over, and the system wants to keep playing. You scream at the empty sky. So I stay here forever? The entity's voice fades into static. You are necessary. Without you, there is only the void, but perhaps the void is what we all need. You are left alone in a dead, frozen world. A white void. You stand where it all began, in the first experiment chamber of the Echo Lab. There are no walls, no time, only the source. You see scientists who look like ghosts, pressing buttons that haven't been built yet. Project Echo is activated. You see a flash of light take the form of a man, you. But this you is much older than the equipment around it. You realize the scientists didn't create you. You always existed. They just found a way to call you into their time. The paradox clicks shut in your mind. You are not the subject. You are the result of reality trying to fix itself after some ancient catastrophe. You are the safety rope that got tangled into a noose. The system presents a final choice, glowing in the air. Option 1, reset the timeline. You vanish, you never existed, and Hawkins becomes a boring normal town. Option 2, stabilize the anomaly. You remain a hero, you save your friends, but the world stays broken, full of monsters and glitches. You look at these choices and feel a surge of rage. No more loops, you whisper. I won't play by your rules. Instead of choosing, you attack the very structure of the choice itself. You break the interface of reality. You rip the anchor out along with a piece of existence. A blinding white flash consumes everything. The sound of breaking glass that lasts an eternity. Silence. You open your eyes. A normal morning. A normal cafe. Cars drive by. People laugh. Birds sing. For real. Not in a cycle. The world feels different. The colors are brighter. You sit at a table drinking coffee. A stranger walks up, looks at you for a long time, and says, "Excuse me, I feel like I know you from somewhere." You look at him and something